though, I speak it though, I speak it though. What's on your mind, what's on your mind is deep though. I speak it though, we on the air, just take it there, I'ma take it there. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Yeah, I talk about it, but I'm real about it. I speak on it, but don't catch films about it. We can chop it up like it's nothing, baby.
What's going on, everyone? We are back here live here on the OT Radio Show, and let me tell y'all something. We got a good show for y'all today, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. See, when you talk about multi-talented women out there, there's one name that comes up. Yes, we talking about Alexandra Vino. Yes, let me tell you something. I know y'all seen her on hit shows like HBO, How to Make It in America, CBS, Golden Boys, Marvel. Y'all know OT is a Marvel fan. Agent Carter. She's been in Netflix, Spencer Confidential. And she's been in 22 Miles. She's been in a lot of things. And I have her here going to chop it up with your boy OT for a second. And we're going to dive into a little something. We're going to talk about how she got started and everything else. So let's go ahead and dive into it. What is going on with you? How are you feeling?
Ollie.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
So good to see you.
You too. You too. So, like we was talking offline, you just came back from LA. So glad to see you back in New York.
I'm really happy to be back in the humid, thick air that we have going on here. I'm shocked, actually. Los Angeles, it's really cold at the moment. Like, at night, I was wearing, not during the day, but at night, I was wearing warm cashmere sweaters and sweatpants. It was freezing, and I came back, and it's just thick and hot air. It turned summer quick.
Very humidity out there. It is very, very hot out there. All right, so let's talk about you. Now, how did you get started? Because I did a little background check on you. You've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. I think I was really born an actress. I came out of the womb and they put the first T-shirt on you. The little T-shirt says like "A Star Is Born," which I think is kind of like corny now, but so cute at the time. But like that followed forward with my life because my grandmother, she like framed it, and then she would have me come out and sing songs for my family. I was singing and dancing for everyone since I could walk. I would bring my sister to school and get up on the desk in front of her kindergarten class because I wasn't old enough to go to school yet. And I would sing like "You Are My Sunshine" and like good morning songs and dances to everyone. And so because I was sort of just drawn theatrically this way, my grandmother and my mother both put me into theater camp as a really young girl. And so I've kind of started like right away, but I sort of was derailed a little bit as far as like going towards an acting career. And I sort of, as a little tiny child, I didn't know obviously what I wanted to do, but with my life, I was just going. Right. But so I was a gymnast and a cheerleader, and I was like captain of my cheerleading team. And we were a competitive, like co-ed large division advanced cheerleading team. So we did crazy stunts and a lot of synchronized work and determination. And I think that that's really where my whole like who I am became. I'm still like that cheerleader girl. I'm still like a team player and just want to bring everyone together all the time. And I think that that's played through in my career, and which is why I've had a career for a while and have been able to maintain that, because it's like the training of dedication and discipline and teamwork that I got when I was doing all of that. So I did that until I was about 16 years old. I was doing commercials a little bit younger than that, like just some sort of non-union industrial commercials and stuff that I got through this manager who I met in New York, just on a random thing that I went on, just a casting sort of open call. And I met her and she signed me to be a manager. And so I was doing these industrial commercials while I was still going to high school and cheerleading. Wow. And then I got this Bollywood movie. It came in on through like casting networks, actually, which a lot of young actors use this. And it's really a great tool, especially when you're starting out. And casting Actors Access also is used for obviously more bigger, like for the agencies and stuff too. But there's different divisions or subdivisions. So you could, even without an agent or anything, still get yourself some work. And so I was doing that, and I saw this Bollywood movie up, and I submitted for it. And my manager at the time, she pushed me to get a second audition because after the first one, I had got my wisdom teeth out, like I was like a chipmunk. So I saw that the post went up again, and I'm like, oh my God, they didn't cast me. That because they're still looking. That means that they didn't want me. I need to go back without my chipmunk cheeks. And so, so she goes, okay, I'll get you. I'll push for it. And so she did. And I actually went to Philadelphia for the second call. And yeah, and I was playing Michael Jackson's backup dancer. And I didn't have to actually dance in the movie though. It was just like who my character was. And so, but I still felt like they need to believe that I'm this girl. So I learned the whole dance from Michael Jackson's You Rock My World. You rock my world. No, you did. You know, with the little fedora. And so I came in with a boombox because this was a long time ago.
Oh, y'all don't know about boomboxes, you know, the big old thing.
It was like it was a more advanced boombox. It wasn't like an OG boombox.
Right.
I was able to put a CD in there though. And I put the CD and I played the song, and the people cast me. They were like, "You were so dedicated, and we just love that you love what you do so much, and we want that on our set." And it was a huge lesson because he actually told me that, the director at the rap party, he was like, I chose you because you wanted it the most. Yeah, I was like, wow, yeah, I guess I'll live with that sort of tenacity then. That's how it started.
Wow. So let's start translating, right? Because you started out, doing that when you was young, right? Start getting cast and everything. Now let's start translating to now you are leaving New York and going to LA. How was that transition?
Okay. Well, do we want to know why I went or?
Yes.
Right?
We want to know everything.
Okay. So I shouldn't have gone. But I did.
Wow.
I kind of regret it a little bit in retrospect, but I'm learning in life not to regret and to just follow that this was some path that I needed to discover and learn some lessons. But I was with this great agency. I was with Innovative Artists. Jamie Misher was my agent. She's the best agent. Like, she is an incredible woman, and she taught me so much as a young artist about the business and getting into everything. But I was dating this guy who was sort of like my manager at the same time, and we were together 7 years, and he was he became my fiance, and he was sort of like really just a lot of complicated connection with like work and your life and personal life. And so I wanted to leave. So he and I, after 7 years, just wanted to separate. So I was always in New York, and I was always with him, and we did everything in New York together. I went to every event and went all over the city. So everything reminded me. And I was like, I think I just want to get out of town for a while. And where else can I do what I do? And would be Los Angeles. I've always wanted to go there, and he never wanted to go there either. So I just felt that's a perfect time to break free and go. Which my agent told me not to go. She said, we've been working so hard here, and you've done so well, and you're on everyone's radar, and you're going to leave now? Like, that's sort of defeats the purpose of my work. And I totally see what she means now. But at the time, I was 22 years old, and I was like, I stepped in the door of the industry, and I worked immediately. I never had rejection at that time. I never did. I like my first job I ever auditioned for, I booked the job. Like, I always was able to get this work, and it came so easily to me that when she said that, I was just like, oh, and I got her right away. I was a teenager. I didn't even know what the agencies were. And they were like, oh, yeah, we want to sign you across the board with all this stuff. So it felt so easy to me that I thought going to LA would be the same. And when I got there, it was so hard to get anybody to want to take me seriously. And what I learned was, and it didn't matter my resume and everything that I had done because I wasn't like the lead role. And I learned that it's really a different world because everybody goes there to be an actor or in the industry. And so it's just a sea of all of that. And a lot of people, it's a very diverse range of what type of talent and what kind of experience these people have. Some have absolutely nothing, and some don't do anything and say they do, and others work really hard. And it's like very hard to differentiate between the two, I think. And so the biggest thing I learned is when I was in New York and I was like, I'm an actress, people would say, wow, I think that's really incredible. How do you do that? What do you do? Let me hear about it. And I went to LA and I was like, yeah, I'm an actress. And they were like, and I'm like, you're hurting my feelings. Like, this is my whole life. This is what I care about. I've been doing this my whole life. Like, how are you going to make that face? And then I would have to kind of be like, well, I did this and I did that. And I hated that, having to sort of justify who I was. So I think that that's the only thing you didn't really like about being there. Because besides that, I met so many incredible friends and people. I really got to know the lay of the land and spend a lot of time in different areas of California and Los Angeles, and like the beach and inland and downtown and just like all over in the valley. I really got a hold of things. So I feel like I graduated it. Like I did 10 years about on and off. I always sort of had a place in Manhattan, but I would lease out my place most of the time I was gone.
Okay. Now, question for you. Now, I know you was in LA. Did you go to Venice Beach and did you surf? Because I know a lot of surfers out there.
I did.
Wow.
Yes, I did. I actually started surfing out here in New Jersey and in Rockaway Beach and in Montauk. Growing up as a kid, I would go all around these areas when I was like 13, because gymnastics and stuff, it was kind of easy to translate to surfing. And I surfed a lot, but I don't love surfing in California. It was really dangerous and was ripping me around a lot. I prefer to go somewhere like
calmer waters.
Out of somewhere like more like a bay style surf place. It's like really rough waters. They're in rocky.
Okay. Got you. See a little surfing out there. Do a little surfing there.
It's so refreshing.
I know it is. See, I never did it, but I know people who do it. And for me, I'm always looking at movies. See, I gotta stop watching these movies when shark attacks, because it's Shark Week, right? So, I'll be watching it and I'll be like, oh no, see, it'd be just my luck. I'll be the one surfing, and next thing you know, I'll go under the water, and the shark will come and grab me. Like, nah.
No, for
but
real.
I do want to do it.
Right. I think about it a lot. Like when my legs are in there and you're sitting on the board, I'm like, are they just gonna? Is this bait right here? It's like they're not gonna come. You're gonna see my toes.
Yes, indeed. So let's talk a little bit about you being a writer, a director. Now, how did that translate? Because so let's talk about that a little bit. Because being an actress and then now being a writer and now being a director, we're gonna get into your short film too, that you already came out already. So how was that transition like?
So it wasn't something that I really planned. I have always been a creative writer, and I dated a screenwriter, the man I told you about that I was with for so long before I moved to LA, and he was really talented writer. So he taught me a lot about it just by being around him through osmosis and watching his process and reading what he did, his work. That sort of got me started in my curiosity about how you can create an idea here and then it can be up there. And like just that whole process, like to me, is really magical, that you can absolutely create whatever you want with your mind and you can really manifest it to come true through actions that you can take. So I started writing in probably 2003, 2004, without telling anybody, and just practicing writing lots of different styles. And I took some comedy writing courses, which helped me understand some more structure of like rhythms and all. So that was really good. And I think in 2016, was my first short film that I wrote, that I actually made. And that came out of essentially my friend asked me, because I would write these scenes for myself to make for my reels, like the characters that I used to wish to play. I would write a scene with that character and I would shoot it for myself and make it for my reel. And so I was doing that a lot. And my friend, she said, I really want to do something like that for my reel. Can you write me a scene? And I'm thinking, I can't really think of what scene to write for her, because that's a really broad question. Like, we could go any direction. Like, let's narrow it down a little. And so she's like, oh, I want like romantic comedy, kind of this, kind of that. And she gave me all these ideas, but she wanted to do comedy stuff. And so then I tried writing the scene. I had a hard time. And to make a long story short, I ended up writing a whole like 10-page script, 12 script, like short still, but you know, the whole thing, because I needed a beginning, middle, end, and like a through line. And I figured if I could create this story with her character throughout the whole thing, then she could pick which scene she wants in there, and we can make that for her reel. I wasn't thinking we would make the whole thing. I just thought, I just did that almost as an exercise so that what she chose would have like an energy to it and a life to it. It wasn't just, so I did that, and then she read it. She goes, we should make the whole thing. I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah, it's so good. Let's do it. And so I'm like, okay, I'll get some money. I'll put together like a budget, how much I think it will take to make it. And then I'm like directing it and I'm producing it with her. And we're like doing the whole thing. And it won all these awards at these festivals.
So,
and they started like that.
Wow. So let's talk about that a little bit too, because I mean, you won these awards at these festivals and stuff like that. So what is harder, writing, directing, or being an actress? Which one is harder?
Well, I mean, they all come with their own struggles, and their own perks. I think being an actor has got to be one of the hardest things, because you really have to be so available and vulnerable all the time with your instrument, but at the same time, you still have to be so strong as a person to try and withstand the brutal business that we're in. And I think it's really painful when you're an artist to be an actor, especially in the world we live in today. And it takes a lot of sacrifice, and I think it's really brave, because I think that artist, if they're really working truly from themselves, they're giving so much energy, and it's priceless if that's being received in a way that's really pure. Like if you're having that pure connection, and I know that's what most actors are striving to get to. So when you're really good at what you do and stuff, I think it really costs a lot. So I think acting is probably the hardest one, which is why everybody is like, wow. But I mean, it's also the upfront, but it's so vulnerable when you're showing yourself, right?
I agree. I definitely agree.
You know, being the face of something and being the face of a lot of ridicule and criticisms, and being able to be open to that, I think takes a lot of maturity and like self-value. So, and then when you're writing and directing, I mean, it's also very vulnerable, especially writing too, because writing is like a lot of your own personal experiences. And you can go creatively off, and it doesn't mean it has to be exactly literal to your life, but a lot of times everything is super personal, and that too is a vulnerable thing to show. So, I mean, the medium of filmmaking is, I think it's undercredited because everyone has such high expectations all the time. But I think just the act of getting something done is really heroic.
Yeah, I agree. Look at you. I agree. I definitely agree with that. All right, so let's talk about one of your short films, Green.
The recent one.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Because I seen the trailer. that you had posted on YouTube and stuff like that. So so tell me a little bit about that, because it's saying how you're going through the transition of trying to be a Grammy winner. So let's talk a little bit about that, because you got certain parts. So let's dig deep into that if people don't know.
It's actually Oscar, not Grammy.
Okay.
for like the movies to win an Academy Award. So this
Right.
actress, so in the movie, Nina Finch is America's sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
And Green Cola, the short film, was like what gave birth to this whole idea. It
Okay.
started with just Green Cola, and that was like a political satire mockumentary about like a politically correct soft drink. That because we were going through a lot of PC lifestyles these days,
Right.
it's definitely put in our face a lot. So because I learned how to do these comedies essentially because in 2016 I started doing that.
Right.
I thought it would be really fun to sort of poke fun at how serious everybody takes such small stuff, and like we're like,
Right.
you know, but it actually is a lot deeper than that too. So I try to be fair on both ends when I do the comedy stuff, but a lot of it's sorry, I'm getting off track a little. So the Green Cola short is essentially about Nina Finch. She is like America's sweetheart, 10 years off of Pals, which is totally a spin-off of Friends. She's like a Jennifer Aniston type, not based on her, but like, you know, that type of lifestyle that you have like all sitcom. And she her whole life wanted to be an Oscar winner, like a real, you know, up there with the filmmakers, not like a sitcom actress. And she got hooked in this show for 10 years and now it's over. And so she's finally getting her shot. And she's going up against all these other women. And she wants to do an ad to get some people's sympathy to show that she is all for the environment because she's also America's sweetheart. So she does this ad, like a campaign for Green Cola. And the movie takes place on the set of Antoine Berglas' studio where he's the director shooting the commercial. And we see the behind the scenes of the movie getting shot, of the commercial getting shot. And she comes late and, you know, and everyone's talking behind her back. And like, so you intercut the comedy of the talking about what's going on with the action of everything of them, like going through the steps of her getting ready to shoot and then actually shooting it.
Okay.
So that was the whole film. And I put that out and it won many awards. It won best comedy short at the Paris Independent Film Festival. It won best comedy short at the Manhattan Film Festival. And it won honorable mention at the London Epic Film Festival.
Wow.
And it also opened the LA Shorts Film Festival, which made it eligible to be submitted for an Academy Award. It didn't make it through that stage, which I would have been shocked if it had, because the subject matter is not totally like up that alley. It doesn't
Okay.
Academy type.
Right.
Not where
Academy
it's at right now. Maybe when I make the feature. So that's what I'm doing now.
Okay. So you're making a feature now. Okay, good.
Can I go on with it?
So
Green
go on.
Cola essentially spurred on this whole thing. So everyone loved it so much, and I was sort of just experimenting the idea. And I'm like, wow, this is actually something that can have some legs. So I wrote a whole script around it. Also, because I wanted to keep it. So I figure I can just do little trim editing around the edges and blend it into a whole feature and do the feature in chapters. And the chapters essentially are Nina Finch leading up to her to the Oscars and what's going to happen and all the things. So she comes in and we have like the roundtable discussions. We have the newscasters and what's going on behind the scenes. We have her going through all these steps, these Oscar parties and the schmoozing and like what they do behind the scenes to sort of win and campaign for themselves to win for an Oscar. So I just find it to be really funny. And the way that like Madison Avenue, like advertising and fashion and design, everyone's sort of using each other to create like something together, but it's sort of like all self-serving. It's just
well, listen, I can't wait. I cannot wait. So do you have a date or a year that you think it might be coming out?
Oh yeah. So I actually already just shot I finished writing the script and I just shot chapter 7 of the script because I had the specific location and the actors that I could shoot that. And I shot it, edited. I do all the editing as well. So I'm like nonstop really working on this project.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Right now with the strike going on, I'm sort of more just like in a preparation stage for
Mm-hmm.
until it hits. Unless
Yeah.
there's some way I could get a waiver, I'm looking into all that
Okay.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know the strike is going on now, so
I
there's
want
a
to get
lot
it
of
done at
things.
the end of this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know a lot of things we can't talk about and stuff like that. So, I know a lot of that with the
Yeah,
strike thing. Yeah.
I will say when it comes to the strike, I am
Mm-hmm.
for everybody having a fair
Yeah.
shot at life and being able to take care of themselves. And so I know that everybody's going to work really hard to make sure that that happens. And
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure it will be
Definitely.
fine.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that agreement is going to be coming soon. I know they got one out there that, mm,
I read
not
it.
so much. Yeah,
One
yeah.
was a little
Yeah, a little
not great,
off.
but this is a negotiation, right? So
Yep.
like usually one side over negotiates the other direction.
Yep.
So there's going to be a middle ground. It's not
Yep.
like that's what it's going to be. So we can't react like, "Oh, that I can't believe it." It's like, "No, like let's measure and try to find a way
And that's
to
what they're going to do. They're
make it
going to
work."
come into the middle. They're going to come to a middle ground. It's going to come to a middle
Yeah.
ground all
Yeah,
the time.
because
All the
there's
time.
also actors that make $40 million in a movie when everyone else isn't making anything.
Mm-hmm.
There are things I did notice that was in the bill actually too, with the
Yeah.
like an actor getting paid the residuals up front for Netflix instead
Mm-hmm.
of on the back end, so they would
Yeah.
make like the 40 up front instead of.
Yeah.
But that's pretty intense. Like they should be sharing more, and everything should
Yeah.
be more fair.
Actually, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. So I definitely agree with that 100%. I agree with the whole thing. I mean, because the time, the labor, y'all going through the things that y'all going through because acting is serious, right? So y'all go
Yeah.
through a whole transformation of playing a part. Because we're going to talk about a couple of parts that you played. Because you played a couple of parts, and that's why I said multi-talented. Because one of the parts that I truly love is on Netflix. Spencer Confidential, and you played this Italian girl, and I'm talking about you played it to the T. And since I'll be going down South Philly a lot and I'll be talking to them and seeing them and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, she played it to the T. She sounded like she about to kick some, you know what, all the time and stuff like that.
Thank
So
you.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I
Oh, I
definitely loved
loved
it.
working on that movie. That was so great. I was working with Peter Berg, the director.
Mm-hmm.
He's so amazing to work with, and his team.
Mm-hmm.
And working on that role, I worked a lot with the voice, of course.
Yeah.
She was a Southie Boston girl
Yeah.
who was killed, and because she was like fighting for for her for her city, and she had
Mm-hmm.
so much energy and ferocity about her, but also very
Mm-hmm.
kind. And she was based on a real person that
Really?
that actually got murdered by the mob. Yeah, because
Wow.
of like this underground stuff going down in Boston at
Mm-hmm.
the Wonderland racetracks. And because she was speaking out against it, they ended up killing her. So I did take into consideration that this is a real person, and that really sort of helped ground me a lot in the role. I felt
Wow.
good about that role. It was not a huge part. Like I think I worked just a couple days, like 5 days or something, but
Mm-hmm.
um it was a really great experience working with Mark Wahlberg. I've worked with him a lot over my career, actually.
Yeah, I know, I know, I know. I
Yeah,
seen you
he's
in a
been
couple of
so
films. I've
great.
definitely seen you in a couple of films. All right, so let me throw you a curveball. Okay, so the curveball question is this: what would you tell yourself, your younger self, right now? What would you tell them?
How old?
let's say, we're gonna say 18.
Like an 8-year-old Alexandra?
Yeah.
I would say
Hmm.
Alexandra, just keep being an angel and everything will be okay.
Okay. Okay.
Stay positive. Be nice. Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Keep loving everybody. Don't get jaded.
Yeah.
Follow your instincts
Okay.
and
Okay.
pave your own path. That's what I would tell my little 8-year-old me.
I love it. 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 All right. So what else will we be seeing you? Because you do the red carpet amazingly. We
Thank
see you
you.
going to different places in
Oh,
Paris, and you be in London, and you be in New York, and everything else. So what else will we be seeing you at? Because there's a couple of red carpet events that's going to be coming up
yeah.
soon. So
Well, the Hamptons Film Festival is coming up. I'll probably spend some time out there. I have some friends with some
okay.
films out there. I love going to these events because I get to support my fellow friends and filmmakers that I know that are working on the projects, and I also get to meet people that they all work with, and it's just a really lovely time to get to know others and
Mm-hmm.
sort of connect with your community. And so that's really why I love going to a lot of these events. And I used to be really, really not good at the red carpet. I was
Really?
so uncomfortable for so long. And
Okay. Okay.
I actually
Okay.
used to refuse to do it. I used to be
For real?
asked to do it a lot, and I wouldn't go for so many
Mm-hmm.
years, which is so not the cheerleader self that I am. But I
Yeah, 'cause
always
I'm about to
felt like
say, really? You, after all that competition that you've been doing in cheerleading, you gonna say you ain't?
I
Wow.
to do it. I felt so shy because, like I said earlier, it's so different for me. I'm really vulnerable when it comes to like the acting work, and I used to have so much pride, like when I was younger, that I would be like, no, like this isn't the art. I
Right,
just care about the art. And now I learned that you get to do your art more if you do stuff like this. So
right, right,
just,
right, right. Yeah,
that's my
definitely.
motivation.
Okay, okay, okay. So you're gonna be down at the Hampton Film Festival coming up, and
Yeah.
then what else? What else? And people might go find you
Well, I'm sure I'll go to like Vanity Fair this
at.
year
Okay,
for the Oscars again.
okay, okay,
I like to go.
okay.
I like going to that one. My friends
Mm-hmm.
are going to be nominated for sure this year for their
Okay.
documentary. So I'll probably go with them again.
Oh, hey, sounds good.
Yeah,
Have
and
fun.
everything else I don't really know because the thing is the strike is going on. There's no
Yeah.
publicity.
Yep.
So I think this is a good time for everyone to sort of dig in on their own creative projects and go on vacation and clean their house and just get stuff cleaned out and get prepared for when it's back so that you can move forward, with
I
a
agree.
clean slate.
I agree. I definitely agree. I definitely agree because it is a perfect time for people to
Yeah.
start getting some
Yeah,
stuff in
just take
order.
this as an opportunity to like catch up.
Hmm. Hey, tell them again. Have some dinner or have some lunch with your friends. Try that. Try that. Tell them try that. Have some lunch with their friends.
Have
Tell
some
them to
lunch
have
with
some.
friends
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, yeah. Tell them that. Say, hey,
Who
y'all,
am I
let's have
telling?
some lunch. Yeah, just have some
Yeah,
lunch.
tell them.
Yeah, have some lunch, y'all. Go out and have lunch
Yeah,
on
go and
Friday.
have some lunch and have a watermelon and like a
Yeah, hey,
fresh
that's what
summer
they gotta do.
salad.
There it is. There it is.
Mm,
Little wine, little wine.
little
Gotta have a little
wine. I
wine
was gonna
there.
say wine, that's why I went watermelon. I was gonna say wine, but I was like, maybe I shouldn't promote alcohol.
No, wine is good. Wine is good.
Okay,
Wine is
wine is
very
good.
good.
Well, I'm Vino, so obviously I'm
Okay.
partial to wine.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Vino
So,
means
what's your
wine
favorite
in
wine?
Italian and Spanish. And
What's
oh,
your
my
favorite
favorite
wine?
wine? I love
Yes.
Barolo, a
Uh
beautiful
huh.
red wine. Barolo is so
Uh huh.
nice. I love
Mm-hmm.
Camus, which is like a
Okay.
special occasion,
Same.
really nice wine. Too red also.
Mm-hmm.
Cake bread wine is nice. And if it's
Mm.
a white wine, like a really
Mm-hmm.
nice buttery Chardonnay, like
Mm.
there's one called the Farniente, I think.
Really? I never. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
which I
Hold up.
think means like
Look,
getting lost
I got
somewhere
my
or doing
pen. I got
nothing.
my pen. I got my pen.
Yeah,
It's called the what
Farniente.
is it? The Funyay? Okay. Okay.
Farniente,
Okay.
Niete.
Got it.
I
Got
think.
it. Got it. Got it. See, because I'm a wine guy. I want some.
Maybe
I
with
want
an
some
N.
good white wine. Very good white
Oh
wine.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely gotta have that. Okay. Well, listen. Thank you for joining us here on the show. I definitely appreciate it. Before you go, you got to tell everybody where to find you at on social media, websites. So the
Thank
floor
you.
is yours.
Yes, will do. Okay, everyone, you can find me at Taste the Vino on Instagram, at Alexandra Vino Productions on Twitter and TikTok, and I have Vimeo and YouTube and all of those things, which once in a while I update, but mostly Instagram is my main thing right now, and I'm probably going to get Threads, so look out for that. AlexandraVinoArts.com if you want to see some of my artwork that I paint, or just check out IMDb so you could watch some movies.
There it is, y'all. Y'all heard it first here, right here, right here. Well, thank you. Enjoy your day. The night
You
is still
too.
young. Have yourself a good time. Get yourself a nice, good wine. Sit back and enjoy yourself. Because
Thank
it's
you
still
so
hot
much.
out here. It is hot.
It is
It is
hot.
hot.
I think it is a cold wine spritz night. Wine
There it is.
nice. Little like sparkling water in
Wine.
there.
Yes. Gotta do it. You got to do
Yeah.
it. You got to
And
do it.
orange.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. See, yeah. Uh-huh. See, I was about to say put a little bit of strawberry on there. You know, but you see,
Ooh, I love strawberry.
yes, yes, yes.
You're
Well,
the
look,
best.
listen. I definitely appreciate you. You got to come back on
I
when you
would
start
love
doing your
to.
stuff.
I can't wait. Once, maybe when I'm like in the middle of making the film, I could tell you how it's going.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, look, I definitely appreciate you. Thank you for joining us here on the show.
Thanks for
As we
having me.
say, we call you family now because now you are part of the family. So you got to come back on, come chat with us, celebrate with us, and everything else. Because we will be in New York. We'll be in Brooklyn on, I think it's August something. Because we're going up there for event. It is a art event that I will be going to.
Okay.
So I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
You
maybe
know,
I'll be
yeah,
able to come see you. Yeah,
yeah, definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
I love
All right,
that.
well, look, enjoy
Okay,
yourself. Like I
me
said, enjoy the
too.
rest of the day. Stay out that heat because it is hot, but definitely get that little wine with a little spritz, a
Oh yeah.
little water with that little spritz right there. All right, well, thank you
Yes.
again,
Thank
and
you.
have yourself
Thank
a
you
good one.
so much.
Yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed
Me
it. I definitely
too.
enjoyed it. All right, talk to you later.
Too.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Talk to you
All right,
soon.
yes.
Bye, guys.
Oh, good show, y'all. Very good show. Like I said, if you want to talk about a multi-talented actress, director, writer, I had her here. Alexandra Vino joined me here. I love her to death. I appreciate it. She is part of the family. Like I always say here, if someone asks you how you doing, you tell them I'm doing better than yesterday. Get ready because tomorrow I have another show. I will be having on the Rough Rider CEO son will be joining us here on the show. We'll be talking to him. And then on Thursday, I will be having on Mr. Cruz will be joining your boy OT here on the show. We'll get a little update on him to see what he's been doing with himself. All right. Well, listen, y'all. I love y'all. Be good. I will see y'all tomorrow here, same time, same place, here on the OT Radio Show. And yo, enjoy the rest of y'all day because OT will. I am going to enjoy myself. I am going to be eating lasagna today. Yes, OT made lasagna. I might show y'all a little bit of pictures on there. Nice little vegetable, little squash and good stuff like that. All right. Love y'all. Be good and talk to y'all later. Peace.